The main document, as I was saying, is on IRIS, where under the call for proposals, you can find the two call for proposals and all the relevant documents, the national call, transnational, annexes, etc. I have to say that the two partnerships are funded through the structural funds. And recently, the Deputy Ministry of Research, Innovation and Digital Policy has announced the updated smart specialization strategy with 8 sectors that it supports. Advanced materials, agri-food, digital technologies, maritime and shipping ecosystem, renewable energy, space, health, and environment. So when you are submitting your proposal, you will need to select one of these sectors, as we will show you later on. Now, a few words about the CTP call. The beneficiaries are research organizations, enterprises, or other organizations, as these are defined in the Restart Work program. The consortium can contain up to 3 organizations from Cyprus. Now I'm talking about the Cypriot consortium, which is part of the international consortium that will submit the proposal. Larger enterprises are allowed to participate only if the consortium includes at least one small or medium enterprise as well. The activities, the eligible activities are basic research, industrial research, and or experimental development. However, the projects must include experimental development activities. Eligible TRLs are 1 to 8, but with the requirement for experimental development to be present, you understand that higher TRLs must be included in the project. The duration is 12 to 36 months. Maximum funding is 500,000 per project. This is only for the Cypriot participants in the project. And the total budget that we have available is 2.2 million. Eligible expenses can include personnel cost, instruments and equipment with depreciation, external services, traveling abroad, consumable, and other specific costs, and of course, overheads. The procedure is two-stage submission, includes a two-stage submission. The pre-proposal, which is a very short proposal, as you will see in the templates of the CTP, should be submitted at stage 1. I want to emphasize that once you submit the international proposal in CTP, you must submit also on IRIS a proposal as well, only for the Cypriot consortium. The selected proposals from stage 1 will be asked to submit a full proposal in stage 2. And again, this proposal needs to be submitted on IRIS as well. And this will be evaluated by, both proposals will be evaluated based on transnational eligibility criteria, the call module requirements, and national or regional requirements. For example, submitting on IRIS is a national requirement. If the proposal is not submitted on IRIS, it will be deemed ineligible in the transnational level as well. The evaluation criteria of the proposals in both stage 1 and 2 are excellence, impact, and quality and efficiency of implementation. Now I will give the floor to Stamatis to say a few words about the DUT and the submission procedure that applies in both calls. .
Thank you. And give me control again. All right. Let's see if it works. Okay, I will speak a bit about the DUT partnership now concerning the national rules. As with CET as well, research organizations, enterprises, and other organizations, according to the categories we have in the Restart Work Program, are eligible to apply, to participate. Each consortium, oops, we'll go back. Okay, each consortium may contain from one up to 3 organizations. Will you change the slides for me? Okay. And the participation of large enterprises is allowed given that the consortium includes at least one small or medium enterprise. Foreign organizations, no, go back, thank you. Just to know that foreign organizations must receive funding from their corresponding funding agencies. All right, can you go to the next slide? Here the activities contain all the broad range of TRLs we can fund. So basic research and or industrial research and or experimental development, TRLs 1 up to 8. And let me say that in this partnership, you can choose, like the consortium can choose by themselves, if this is a research-oriented or innovation-oriented action. It's not predetermined on the topic level. The duration of the projects has to be between 12 and 36 months. The maximum budget per project is $500,000, and the total budget for the call is €1,750,000. Next slide, please. The eligible costs, we go with real costs this year, personnel costs, instrument and equipment, and so on, like with clean energy. So a detailed budget breakdown for each category is required for the proposals. Next slide, please. Now the evaluation and selection is mostly done at the transnational level. As with most partnerships, the two-stage process we explained already, the pre-proposal process. So first you submit a pre-proposal, and upon successful evaluation, you have to submit a full proposal. The evaluation is arranged by the partnership, so by international experts, and depending on the transition pathway you choose, and whether it's a research-oriented or innovation-oriented approach you choose for the project, there will be 6 ranking lists. These are all arranged by the partnership itself centrally. Then there is selection by the steering committee of the partnership. The ranking lists then, based on the ranking list, we decide which calls to fund. So it's crucial to select the most relevant transition pathway and the most relevant approach, whether it's research or innovation oriented for your project. Next slide, please. The evaluation criteria are standard. The titles are excellence and the next lecture on merit, impact and user engagement, quality and efficiency of project implementation. As it is standard with Horizon Europe and Restart, evaluation scores over 5 will be awarded for each of the 3 criteria. In the transnational context, you can also read some sub-criteria for each one of these. And it's important to take note of this because the pre-proposal will only need certain sub-criteria. And also, some sub-criteria are specific depending on the approach you choose, if it's research or innovation oriented. Next slide, please. Okay, for the submission, now this applies to both partnerships, as well as the submission to the central partnerships electronic systems. You also need to submit a proposal to IRIS. This is required by the Cypriot consortium. So each Cypriot consortium member must register to IRIS beforehand. The coordinator of the Cypriot consortium must submit a proposal with 2 parts. The first is part A, which is filled online on the IRIS platform. And there are also annexes that are uploaded as attachments to part A. For this call, we only need to attach an annex S3CY annex. This is the annex for the smart specialization strategy. It's a very simple document that you have to find from IRIS, from the call documents. And it's a simple checklist, and you have to submit it and choose only one priority sector from our smart specialization strategy. It's very important because it's obligatory. You have to submit it and you need to choose properly one priority sector only. If you don't submit it or you don't choose a sector or you choose more than one, the proposal will be deemed ineligible. So it's very careful to be very aware of that when you submit a proposal for each partnership. Next slide, please. So, okay, here we say that you have to submit to both platforms. Let me say it's not just the TUT, CET as well. So both at the partnerships platform and the IRIS platform. And if you don't submit it properly on both platforms, the proposal will be deemed ineligible. If you have any questions for both partnerships, feel free to contact RIF, the Partner Support Center, at this telephone and the email you see on your screen.